Perfect. So welcome to the Marketing Lifeline's Friendly Friday. This another awesome Friday. I think I don't ever get to a Friday and think, is it a good Friday? Every Friday is a good Friday, right? Some just come faster than others. In conversation with like-minded people who just like to share and share alike. So today we are joined by Martie Cronje from Complete VA. So thank you so much for joining us today, Martie. We look forward to what you have to share regarding work-life balance.
Thanks. It's awesome to be here, and I'm excited to have this chat with you.
You're going to be like the magic magician today, and you're just going to come in and you're going to tell us how to do this, right?
I'll try.
Okay, no, we understand. We understand. We know there's work to be done. So, Joe, just thanks so much for joining us. And as I say, we look forward to what you have to share. But I'll just do a quick bio intro to Martie before we kick off with our questions for today. So Martie has been helping managers solve problems and bring balance back to their lives for over 30 years. Regardless of the industry, success comes to those who persevere, are determined, and not scared to do what it takes to get the job done. As an award-winning virtual assistant, Martie has been developing the drive and motivation to support and assist her clients or your clients is a key ingredient to improving her business. Martie is a coach and mentors VAs as well and administrative staff, helping them optimize their journey so they can provide value to multiple clients through optimal prioritization and time management. Sure, lots of words there that I'm sure take a lot of responsibility and work. So yeah, I look forward to some insights into specific today is our work-life balance as a critical topic indeed. So before we kind of jump straight into the key questions, the one I always like to kind of also ask is, tell us about your journey. Maybe some entrepreneur out there is in a similar position, who knows, and you might just inspire them to say, okay, that is the right time. Okay, I've only got 1,000 Rand to my name, or I've been retrenched, whatever it is. So I always just like to ask, tell us more a bit about your entrepreneur journey and how your Complete VA came to be.
Sure, thanks for this opportunity, Megan. So I started Complete VA in 2016, okay? About 10-15 years before that, my husband and I actually investigated this whole VA thing, as I like to call it. And by 10-15 years, when we actually investigated, the industry in South Africa specifically wasn't ready. You still had to go to the office, work from the office from 8 to 4 and 9 to 5 or whatever your work time were, go home and so forth. And then technology changed that you could connect via VPN and do some work from home. The company that I worked for in 2014, 2015, my manager traveled extensively. And that's when I realized, hold on a minute, because while he was overseas, we would communicate over Skype or was it still BBM? I can't remember. Or WhatsApp or whatever technology was available, whatever he had access to in whichever country he was. And then I said to my husband, you know what, I think this can actually work. So we did our research and we started with a bang in 2016. And I would lie if I say I've never looked back to missing office, but at times thought, am I completely crazy to actually go on this entrepreneurial journey? But I wouldn't change it for the world.
I love that. And the fact that you actually, like, everyone thinks VAs happened during COVID, right? Because now every other opportunity there's a VA, and everyone's going, what is this VA thing? Like, so it's interesting to know that you actually did your research prior COVID and we're really onto the bandwagon of being a support system anywhere, right? Because your managers were traveling and they were still getting support. So great opportunity to find a gap in the market and create an offering. Love that. So talking about the undeniable truth of work-life balance, I said, do you even believe this is possible? Because honestly, I think no entrepreneurs do. And if so, why do you believe that it is?
Okay, so before I actually answer that, let's unpack what is work-life balance. So it involves looking at how working people being working for a boss or a manager or for a corporate or working at home, okay, manage time spent at and outside of work. So thanks to COVID, that has opened a new portal, so to speak, to the way in which people balance work and personal life. From being able to clock out at exactly 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. to now checking emails at odd hours because we are working from home. So the idea of work-life balance might seem unachievable. However, striking that balance is possible even when working from home. So communication and planning are our best friends when planning that workday ahead. Work-life balance does not simply mean striking a balance between professional and personal life, but also regularly reflecting on it and questioning it. I mean, in my opinion, it also depends on the right measure. So anyone seeking to achieve a good work-life balance more than to live is missing the entire work-life balance definition.
Wow. Okay. So in a nutshell, it is definitely there, but maybe people have to also understand what it is. Okay. As you said, it's not just a matter of saying how much time you spend on certain things, but it's also about every now and then reflecting. So even if you feel you may or may not, you have to at some point and regularly question it. You know, maybe yes. Is it enough? Should I be spending more? Okay.
Yeah, you have to go back and say, okay, fine. So when I started my business, these were my goals, and that's what I wanted to achieve. I want to spend more time with my family, or I want to work in the mornings, and when my kids come out of school, then I want to be able to spend the afternoon or watch the soccer or netball or ballet. Are you still doing that, or are we focusing so much on getting this business off the ground that's falling by the wayside?
Great. Yeah, and I think, and a good thing you've just noted is I think you need to, like you say, regularly check that, because as your business grows as well, you can allow yourself the kind of, so in the beginning, maybe you kind of need to be putting in more hours, but as your business grows and matures, you can start saying, okay, I can step out of it a little bit, give some tasks over to somebody else to assist, and I can then take a little bit more control. So because as entrepreneurs, obviously we all strive to have work-life balance, because yes, we all live, well, okay, some of us were forced out of corporate, but other than that, we all started our own thing because we wanted to have balance. You know, we wanted to be able to have that opportunity to decide when we wanted to go to the dentist, or you know, having to watch our kids at school, pick them up from school. So we kind of wanted that, but more often than not, the opposite happens, right? I know. It's like we work so hard, we eventually saying, what are we doing here? I want to go back to corporate, because we often feel it was maybe a bit easier on us. So it overwhelms us and our lives, and then we just can't get that balance anymore. So is this true? And maybe just share with us from your experience, because I mean, I think that's a big problem with most entrepreneurs or business owners, is that we just get that overwhelmness, and then we just kind of feel we have to put everything into the business.
Yeah, no. The short answer, yes, we can find balance. Okay. So my point is that work-life balance is critical for entrepreneurs, because it's tough to be an entrepreneur. I mean, you have highs and lows, and you have a lot of you have a highs and lows, and not always a lot of people to assist you and to help you grow your business. It's everything depends on you. So if our life is out of balance, if it's we know what's that saying, all work and no play. So if it's all work, you won't be able to excel in any area. So working longer does not necessarily make us more productive. But the temptation to overwork is always there. I mean, it's so easy working from home to check your emails in the middle of the night or whatever and respond, which is not always the best thing to do. So it's important to integrate the things that are important to us while we are growing our businesses. Be mindful that work-life balance is something that we must define for ourselves. So what does it look like for you, for us? And we briefly touch on it. Do you want to go watch the kids play sport, or whatever that looks like for you. So the things that are meaningful to us will not necessarily be meaningful to others. So it's our responsibility to oversee the balance in our life, to take control by setting clear goals and boundaries, not just the goals without the boundaries. The boundaries are very important. So to schedule that time for each area that is valuable to us, and then commit to it. So it's one thing scheduling it. The other thing is to commit to it and actually do what you schedule. And then let us know where you stand by communicating with them. Eliminate those time wasters and take care of your health and well-being. That is so important. Because if you're sick, you're no good to anyone. And the more we balance our lives, the more our business will thrive.
Totally. So I have a few questions that I want to ask, but I think let's move on to the next one because I'm probably going to come out in some of the hows, because my mind is thinking, but how, So I think let's move on to the next question. And then if I still have to get that question answered, I'll come back to it, because I've got a feeling you might touch on it in your top tips in terms of, but how, Martie? Because it's so much easier said than done, right? So how do we do these? And I've got a few ideas, but I'm not sure like what's possible. So Martie's going to share with us some top tips, as we like to do every week, with us, to try and instill a work-life balance sooner than later in your business. Because I believe, even though your business might not be as successful as you want it to be, I still believe it's important to make those changes as soon as you can. Obviously, as your business grows, and as Martie says, you go back and review and assess, and you're in a better position, you can allow yourself a bit more time. But I still believe, as Martie's mentioned, there's still certain things in our business we need ourselves, our well-being, to enable our business to run. We need to still do those activities during our business life day to ensure us strong, mental, awake, aware in our business, the best for our business, especially in the very, very early stages. So share with us your top 3 tips, how to get it into our minds and business as soon as we launch, as early as possible. Because I think it's possibly also a bit of a bad habit that we get into, and then it's actually hard. And especially coming from corporate, then you've got that. It's like coming from a corporate culture, it's a 9 to 5. It's in all the time, and it doesn't have to be that way. So let us hear from you on those top tips.
Awesome. I'm so glad you said being our best and all that. So my first tip is have periods of productive rest. And before you think, what does it even mean? I mean, how does it work? Okay, because our thinking is that we need to work all the time, and so there's a quote by Ariana Huffington, that she says, we think mistakenly that success is the result of the amount of time we put in at work, instead of the quality of time we put in. So there's a big difference. There's a quote by Timothy Ferriss, it's something along the line of, are you being productive or are you being busy? Focus on being productive. There's a difference. So I want to share a quick story, if I may. In the mid-1800s, with the gold rush in America, while they were fleeing to the west, like California, to get to the gold. So most gold rushers would get on their horse or whatever mode of transport they had, and then just travel and travel and travel. But the fact was that some of the gold rushers, those who rested most, reached their destination the quickest. It actually states there's a guide that was published in 1849, Immigrant's Guide to California or something, that it actually said those that rested reached their destination 20 days sooner than those that traveled 7 days week. And I was like, okay, they didn't travel fast. So 20 days is huge for those days. So that's why having periods of productive rest, it actually helps us and make us more productive. It's according to science, it is apparently now understood that and I say apparently because I think we're all guilty of not resting when we should, bi-hourly breaks throughout the workday and that elusive 8 hours sleep are essential for us to do the most exceptional work. I mean, it gives us a rhythm of being productive and resting, and getting into that rhythm is important to actually help us to be more productive at the end of the day and get our work-life balance back.
Definitely. Okay, I love that. So I have periods of productive rest. Okay, estimated how many hours a day? Maybe 5? I'm joking.
I wish.
No. Okay, awesome. And then what is our top 2 tip?
Okay, top 2 tip is set goals and include boundaries. I alluded to that a little bit earlier. So when we set personal, financial, and business goals, it's important to be specific and track those goals. And remember to include your boundaries. Allocating specific time in the day, the week, the month to work on those goals. So if we don't have a goal with a deadline, all that, what are we actually aiming at? It's like, okay. And it's important to have those personal, financial, and business goals, because the financial fund the personal and the business funds the financial and the personal. So you need to have those to keep yourself on track, but you need those boundaries. And boundaries could be that you stop at 5 p.m. in the afternoon, or you don't answer clients' emails at night because you're busy with family time or whatever that might be. And then
boundaries are very important. I think that's also underestimated in a number of us is we feel that we always have to be available and always on top of it. And sometimes we can actually just take some time out for ourselves or say, as you say, 5 o'clock. If that's your working hours, that's your working hours, Sorry. And then your third and final tip?
It's short and sweet. Be here now. So be present no matter where you are. If you're at work, be present at work and focus on work. When you are having family time, whatever that looks like, then be present with your family. Don't be present with your family and then be thinking about work and drafting that email in your head that you didn't send. So that's short and sweet. So it's having periods of productive rest. Set those goals with boundaries and be here now, be available and be present.
Sure. I like that. Be here now. I think I can't remember if it was a show on Netflix, but anyway, when the family came home, they had to put their cell phones in a jar. Yeah. So they had like at least time just to engage with each other and talk. Otherwise, as you say, you could well be getting onto your phone, reading emails or just reading articles or information without even being aware that you're not participating in your present moment. So very, very, very important. Love those 3 tips. And just to recap, have periods of productive rest. I think that is probably one where I've personally engaged with entrepreneurs that tell me they schedule naps, because if that's what your body needs in the day, then do it. And if you don't have kids and you can do it, why not? That is what you need to do, as we said, to be on your best performance. Setting goals and boundaries, love that, because obviously goals determine our actions. Keeping ourselves accountable means we're in control. So that means we can set boundaries. I struggle with that. That's why I know exactly what it's like. But I think that's where my default diary helps me a little bit, because I do try and go in and schedule certain tasks at certain times. Otherwise, and then be here now or be present. Whether you're at work, then put it all in, because if you're leaving in 2 hours and you're going to go and watch your kids play cricket, then great, because guess what, when you get to that cricket game, you're going to feel great, you're going to be there, you're not going to worry about it because you've already put the time in. So love those tips. Thanks so much, Martie. And then just in closing, and just my opinion question, always like to just throw something out there and hear what you have to say. In your opinion, do you think the average entrepreneur can work a 4-day week and still succeed?
Yes. That's the short answer is yes.
Yay! I strive to do that.
So it was now during the COVID period or towards the end of lockdown that there was an article, a couple of articles regarding some companies doing a trial in terms of looking at a 4-day work week. And I know Japan was one of those countries. So it actually turned out that those people who was involved in the trial was 40% more productive than working a 5-day work week.
I can believe that. Yeah, so, why not? It's like they say, when you've got an 8-hour day, you get the work in. If you've got a 4-hour day, you get the work in, because that's how your body is set,
Exactly. Yes. So if we have the right principles for being purposeful, present, and productive, then knowing what our high value tasks are and what we can outsource, or where we can collaborate with another entrepreneur. So yes, it's very possible to have a 4-day work week and still excel and starting or running our businesses. So yes, definitely.
Great. But then we'll still leave the kids in school for 5 days so that at least we can have 1 day without the children. although my kids often say to me, Mommy, I don't understand why weekends are only 2 days. Can't we have longer weekends? I'm like, yeah, no, I've never understood that myself. But it is my goal to have a 4-day week, because I intend to not work on Fridays if I could, and make it my time, as you say, because then you put the hours in and then you know that you're going to be rewarded. That's what I see it like. It's a bit of a reward. Oh, well, thank you so much, Martie, for sharing with us today. I think just me alone, and even anyone else who's going to listen to this or listening, I think the reality is, just because we have a business, just because we're a business owner, or even at what level we are in the business, it doesn't mean that, the harder we work, the more successful we're going to be. I think the main thing here is to be smart about it, planning, as you've mentioned, and just kind of, you say, reviewing where you need to be, put down those goals, but then also allow yourself those boundaries to give us a little bit more time with your top tips. And yeah, I think that's just, again, like I say, a refresher to know it's not about quantity, right? It's just about quality, and we need to maintain that. So, love it. So if you enjoyed the interview, please do give us a like, comment, and you're welcome to subscribe. We have these interviews every Friday with awesome entrepreneurs that come and share their journeys and some great top tips just to help you and motivate you through yours. Although next week, Friday, I'm actually not going to be doing the show, believe it or not. It's probably, of the almost 52 weeks I've done, I think we've missed 3, as I will be heading to my hometown to celebrate my birthday. I won't quite say how old I am. I'm getting closer to, let's just leave it at that. I like to think Martie is a bit younger than she also told me, so I was quite surprised. But maybe it's because of the work-life balance, guys. Let's think about it. Work-life balance keeps us looking younger for longer, right? So I won't actually be live next week, so we'll skip next week, but we'll be back online on the 25th of March, going forward every week with some awesome topics and speakers that will be joining us. So just thanks again to you, Martie, for joining us. And then everybody have an awesome Friday, and we'll see you soon. Ciao.